Welcome back to the Pump Take Sports Show. We are here doing another 7-round mock draft. You guys seem to like when we do these videos. So we've already done the first two teams here, the Jags and the Jets, but we have not done the new third overall pick, San Francisco 49ers. After that big trade that they made to trade up to number 3, there was speculation everywhere about who they're going to take. Is it going to be Mac Jones? Are they going to blunder and take him 3? Is it going to be Justin Fields? I mean, there's lots of questions to answer here. Plus, this is a team with a good roster. So really, they could be taking a lot of best available to a lot of positions. But first and foremost, how are you doing, Aidan? Are you ready to jump through 7 rounds of San Francisco mock drafts?
Yeah, I'm ready. It's good. It's good timing that this trade happened in between the videos we did on the Jets and the third overall pick.
Yeah.
Because if we had done the Dolphins a little bit earlier, we would obviously, none of that would have mattered. So it's good timing with everything. I'm ready to jump into it. I think I know. I think I have a good feel on what direction I would want to go with the 49ers pick here. I don't know about you.
Well, and I think it might be different for the first time in a while. Yeah. So do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go first here. So number one, right out the gate, I'm not going to be doing Mac Jones. It's funny. I feel like every year when the NFL draft rolls around, we just have these like about the draft, and it makes twists and turns, obviously, that are unexpected. There's people who legitimately believe that third overall pick and has a good chance of going with the third overall pick, and that's just the kind of thing that happens this time of year. And I think it's ridiculous personally. Not any slight on Mac Jones. It's just, if there was no other quarterbacks in this draft, sure, Mac Jones is a solid shot to take, I think, at third overall if you're the 49ers and you're sitting here with this pick. But the reality is there's 2 quarterbacks that are a lot better, in my opinion, than Mac Jones. So long story short, I would pick, if I was the 49ers, and what I think is going to happen is they're going to take Justin Fields here. And that's who I would pick as well. I've said before in previous videos, I like Trey Lance a lot, and I do. And this would be a good landing spot for Trey Lance. But I think there's been, first of all, I think they're very similar in terms of what they would bring to the table for the 49ers, the 2 quarterbacks. But I think there's been a lot of talk about Justin Fields, like he's some scrub on Twitter. Like we're seeing his entire profile as a prospect just being picked apart, like every little thing. He's just been the draft Twitter and draft scouts target this year. And I just don't think it's fair. I think what he brings to the table is a lot of what the 49ers are looking for. Number one, he's got those raw physical tools. He's obviously incredibly fast for a quarterback, just ran a 4.44 at his pro day. Number 2, he's got a strong arm. He's accurate. He's experienced, playing starting 3 full years at Ohio State. And there are some kinks to iron out here, but that's what makes him such a good fit for the 49ers is he can sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo for a year and kind of have an Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes type situation where, this roster is good enough to compete for the playoffs now with Jimmy Garoppolo. He can sit for a year, learn the system, and come in ready to be, I think, a top quarterback in the league in the second year. I feel pretty strongly about this. I think you can make a lot of the same arguments for Trey Lance, but it's just at the end of the day, it just makes too much sense for Justin Fields here. Like, as much as I like Trey Lance and I would shoot for the upside, not necessarily if I was the 49ers, but if I'm picking between Mac Jones and Trey Lance, I would definitely shoot for the upside of Trey Lance. But here, I think the 49ers can sort of play it a little bit more safe while at the same time taking that risk. And I think Justin Fields is just like the perfect mix between those 2 things. And he makes the most sense here.
I totally hear you, man. And I also want to say I'm not going with Mac Jones either. I do not disagree because the guy we're going to put in this mock draft here is Justin Fields, because I think that's what they're going to do. And I think that I agree with everything you're saying. I'm just going to bring up an alternate point that Trey Lance would also not be a bad pick here. I mean, if you look at the upside of what this guy can do with his physical talents, sit like you said, sit behind Jimmy for a year, be in a great system with Shanahan, and could unlock so much potential to what this guy can do. You see Trey Lance on film, and it's unreal the way this guy runs the ball. Think about his mobile threat mixed with like Kittle's downfield stretching and all the weapons they have on offense, plus just like a already good defense that he could walk into. He doesn't have to carry as much as he would if he went to like another team. He can just kind of unleash those physical tools in the Niners offense. That would be exciting. If they take Trey Lance at number 3, I can't say that I'm not going to be incredibly excited for them, but I do agree with everything that you said about Justin Fields. It's just that he has, a lot of physical upside as well. I mean, we saw in his pro day, I think it was yesterday. I mean, everyone looks good in their pro day, but amazing throws came out of this guy's arm, and he ran a 4.4, which is pretty unbelievable for a quarterback.
Well, that's the thing I did want to say before we move on here. So I've said before that Trey Lance is my number 2 quarterback. I flip-flop a lot the more that I see and the more that I watch between him and Justin Fields. Right now, I actually lean Justin Fields over Trey Lance. It could change. Obviously, these things are nebulous up until draft night. But a big reason why is what you said there with the pro day. It's like I usually don't put too much stock into them, especially the athleticism measurements now, because so many people, we don't have the actual combine, and so many guys are coming out with these 4.3s left and right. But at the same time, just watching him throw the ball and some of the throws that he made, everything just super impressive. And I think number one, you stack that up against Mac Jones, who, like, again, I don't want to shit on Mac Jones because I don't hate him as a prospect, but at his pro day, he looked significantly worse than Justin Fields did. He was missing throws downfield, overthrowing guys, underthrowing them. He obviously is not as physically talented as Justin Fields. Then the other thing is that a lot of the, talk about Justin Fields and people like shitting on him, saying he's not even a top 5 quarterback prospect in this draft. Like, it makes you think about fairly he's being criticized, and just kind of blows your mind with everything that he's shown, everything he's put on tape, everything that he's done. Broke his ribs in the national champion, not in the national championship game, but against Clemson. And came back in and threw 6 touchdowns. Like, everything about him, it just kind of makes you realize not only is he being unfairly criticized, but also just how good of a prospect he is in his own right. So I just wanted to kind of, I'm glad we spent some time talking about Justin Fields because it is a hot topic right now, and I do think he deserves to be the 3rd quarterback taken.
And I agree with you. And so we'll take him off the board. And I just want to say, and I know you agree with me on this, just to the people watching, if the Niners take Mac Jones at 3, I will be blown away. I will be shocked. I know there's talk about it, but I will truthfully be just baffled if they make that decision. So let's take Justin Fields, QB from Ohio State, number 3 overall. And there you go. So I'm a firm believer that we'll wait to go back and review once this is done, because it's moving pretty quick. Lots of guys coming off the board. Devonta Smith always goes to the Eagles in these mocks, I swear.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I could see that happening in real life. With the Mac Jones thing, it's like, I think there are reasons to, there's not 0 reason to think it's possible, but I agree with you. It just seems so absurd that, like, Kyle Shanahan, who's by all evidence that we have is one of the smartest football minds, that he would look at these 3 quarterbacks who are presumably going to be left on the board and say, yeah, Mac Jones is my guy.
Whoops. I didn't mean to scroll down there. That was some free advertisement on Pump Take. So right away, we've got what everyone is saying is pretty much going to happen here, which is 4 QBs off the board. Boom, 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 boom. And that's crazy. We haven't seen that in all the years that we've been following the draft. I haven't seen so much indecision about who these guys, like which one of these guys is the number 2 guy. Everyone agrees Lawrence is number 1, but which one of these guys is the number 2 guy? There was a pretty respectable draft analyst that said Mac Jones is his number 2 quarterback in this entire thing. And it's crazy to see just the difference between everyone's opinion on these guys. And that's why Mac Jones at 4 here to the Falcons isn't actually that unrealistic of what could possibly happen on draft night. Now, I don't think it's going to be Mac Jones. I think it's probably going to be Trey Lance, but still, I mean, 4 quarterbacks off the board right away is unprecedented, at least in my lifetime. And then you've got Kyle Pitts, the unbelievable weapon, going to the Bengals at 5. Jamar Chase. So I actually think Penny Sewell will go here at number 6 or number 5.
I could definitely see it at 5.
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to fall too far. Like, he falls unbelievably far in this thing to 10. That's not going to happen in real life, I don't think.
I agree.
Jalen Waddle gets drafted to the Lions here. Trey Lance goes to the Carolina Panthers. I love
Kyle Trask. Whoa, I've
Kyle
never seen that.
Trask to the Denver Broncos out of Florida at number 9.
I didn't see that.
No, crazy. Neither did I until we came back down. And in fact, what made me say the thing about Penny Sewell is I was looking at the board, as people can see on the screen here. I was like, where the hell is Penny Sewell? Boom. After Kyle Trask. Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable. People are saying
happen. You never know.
It could happen. You're not wrong. Still, what is that? 6 QBs in the top 9? Unbelievable. Yeah. Patrick Surtain II goes to your Giants. Devonta Smith to the Eagles. Slater is flying up draft boards lately.
Yeah.
He's looking great. Slater goes to the Chargers just to bolster that already good offensive line. Christian Darrisaw, Rashad Bateman. Oh, I want Rashad Bateman so bad on the Packers. I'll just put that out there right now. J.C. Horn, Micah Parsons. Love that. Love that pick at 17 for the Raiders there. Micah Parsons to get all the way down to 17. I mean, if 6 QBs are going in the top 10, it's possible. So
there's going to be some good prospects falling if that
totally
happens. I honestly don't see, realistically, I think if there's another QB drafted in the top 10, besides the top 5 guys, I think it'll probably be Kellen Mond, but I don't even see that happening.
No.
Kyle Trask is crazy. Like, I guess it's possible. But to me, what I see happening is, we'll talk about this when we get to our next full first round mock. Maybe we'll even do 2 rounds, who knows, depending on the amount of time we have. What we're gonna see is probably down, just because of how dealt with Matt Ryan's contract. Move on from him within the next 3 or 4, 2 to 4 years, I would say. So I think we're probably going to see a trade down, and then, there won't be as much demand for quarterbacks beyond the top 5, because we're probably going to see Mac Jones, my guess is, fall towards the back end of the top 10. But anyways, we'll talk about that a little later. For right now, we should probably be looking at the next 49ers pick.
Oh, wow. Pat Freiermuth flying up boards because of the pump take stock we're putting into him here.
It's got to be.
Moving quicker and quicker up this board. So here we are at number 43. So we've locked up our quarterback. According to the Draft Network, our needs are still interior offensive line, corner, tackle, safety, corner again, edge, receiver, running back, and linebacker. Mm-hmm. Now, let's just look at what apparently the best guys on this board are. Zaven Collins, Elijah Moore, Creed Humphrey, lots of interior O-line here, which is one of our needs. But also, I wouldn't hate to look at receiver here for the Niners, but they do have other needs. I mean, we could look at corner.
To me, I wouldn't rule out, like, Rondale Moore is right there. He would be amazing in this offense. Even though, I guess, if we're really, if we're going to pick receiver, ideally we would want somebody a little bit different than the guys they already have. But I think Rondale Moore I don't think the 49ers would care about that. They just want the best player. And Rondale Moore would be that. But like you said, there's other needs here with interior offensive line and cornerback especially. There's huge question marks there. So to me, I'm looking at Asante Samuel is very interesting. What I saw an interview with him. He said that teams are seeing him as an outside corner, which is very interesting. He profiles his physical profile. He's more of a slot guy. Mm-hmm. He's a little bit shorter, but he said it himself, and it's true. He does play more physical than his size would suggest. It's not really a scheme fit, though. Like, the 49ers do love their long, tall, lengthy corners.
They do, yeah.
So I don't know if that's a great fit there.
Let's take a little
Wyatt
look
Davis and Creed Humphrey are very interesting. Creed Humphrey, especially, he played center at Oklahoma, and the 49ers need a center, I believe. I don't know if there was an official thing with it, but I think Weston Richburg retired. So I could definitely see that. Landon Dickerson as well.
Yeah. A nice thing to note, too, for Creed Humphrey is 36 straight starts in 3 years starter, and was a key cog in one of the most explosive offenses in the country. That's just from his little write-up here. That's incredible. 36 straight starts. So he basically started every game for 3 years.
If it were me, I think I would probably go with Landon Dickerson here out of Alabama. Out of these 3 guys, anyways, the top obviously would be Creed, Humphrey, Wyatt Davis, and Landon Dickerson. To me, he had by far the best season on out of those guys last year. Obviously a starter on that great Alabama offense. The problem is that he did suffer an injury. I think he tore his ACL in the SEC title game. And he does have some other injury history as well. So maybe that will deter teams, especially the 49ers, who already, like, the reason why their center is retiring is because of injury. And obviously they had a ton of injuries last season. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a toss-up here. I think these guys, though, are the top 3 interior offensive linemen available in the entire draft, besides maybe Elijah Vera Tucker, who played tackle. But, we see him sliding into guard. So, anyways, I think, to me, I would probably take my pick of one of these guys, just because I don't see the scheme fit at corner at the top of the board. And these guys are at the top of the interior O-line class. So, I don't know if you want to make the decision between these guys.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Creed Humphrey, honestly, just out of Oklahoma. The 3 year starts of keeping that, whole ship running at center, like, it's just kind of a position of need, and he's at the top of the board. So let's take Creed Humphrey then. If you're impartial, I'll make the call on Creed Humphrey at 43, which is a great pick for what the Niners need moving forward here.
I think you're right. I think that's a good fit for them because he's very much, he has a lot of experience. He's proven. And I think that's kind of just what the 49ers need right now. They need some consistency on the interior of their O-line, which they haven't really had because of injuries and because of some other factors. So I think that's a good fit.
You're totally right. I don't want to interrupt you, but the Packers drafted Diami Brown, which is lit.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And exciting that we actually decided to draft a wide receiver. There goes Richie Grant to the Chargers. There was another player up there, Pete Werner, my Madden hero. Goes to the Dolphins.
That's really early for Pete Werner.
Very early. He's flying up boards, man. I'm telling you, Pump Take is getting people excited about certain players.
About Pete, especially.
While we're waiting for the 49ers' next pick, I'll just throw this in there. I know we say it in every single mock draft video. Please comment below and let us know what team you want us to do next, because these videos are doing super well. And we'd love, people obviously really like watching mock draft videos. We love making mock draft videos, and we'll do, if you comment your team, we'll do it. So just let us know, because these things are super fun, not only for us, but for just fans of teams to interact in our comment section. Our Darius Washington goes there to the Cowboys at 99. Benjamin St. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Just
Benjamin St. Just. Yeah, he actually would have been a great pick.
Yeah, he would have been a great pick, and he just went right before us, because I remember we were talking about him in our Jets video. Any other notable guys that go here? Tommy Togai, he's also on my Madden team. Interior defensive line of Ohio State. I love him. I think he's a great player. Lots of interesting picks here, as people can see. There goes Diami Brown. 3 receivers in a row: Elijah Moore, Amari Rodgers, and Diami Brown.
Wow.
All back.
I love Elijah Moore, man. I think Elijah Moore is going to be awesome. I would take him in the first round, personally.
Yeah, and look at that. He went in pick 89 or something like that?
Yeah, in the third.
Into the third round. That is a great pick.
If the Packers took him in the first round, I would love that pick.
My boy's Rashad Bateman. That's who I want. I want him so bad.
That's understandable. I just don't.
I know I'm not going to get him, but I watch his film all the time. It just gets me so excited. So let's look at corner here, man, because this is definitely a need, no doubt. And they do love their taller, lanky corners. Do you see any here that are kind of piquing your interest?
I mean, there definitely are some guys that fit that mold. I just don't really see the value here on the board. I mean, what are we? We're pick 102. I guess, if you want to stay there for a second. I just want to scan the board.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, none of these guys really fit that mold. We're not really getting. I mean, I guess Trill Williams fits that mold the most out of these guys, but he just does not, like. I would take him probably 20 picks or so if we could trade down and take him, but he's at the top of the board here. He's on these rankings, so we probably won't get him. But none of these other guys really fit that mold, so it's kind of unfortunate. The one thing I would check safety for me. I really doubt it, but if Javon Holland is there, he could play corner in the NFL. I know they have him listed as a safety here, but I would be interested in playing him at corner. but I don't see him. He must be gone.
Who was that you said there? Sorry, Javon
Holland.
Oh, I don't know if I'm blind. I can't see him.
No, I don't see him. He must be. He would be gone probably in real life, so it makes sense. That's really
Divine
unfortunate.
Diablo, best name in the draft.
I guess you know what we could kind of cheat. I mean, it's not cheating, but we could take Tay Gowan here. I know he's ranked really low on the board, and he really does. He has that length and height and even speed that the 49ers would covet. So I mean, to me, he would be ranked in this. He would be ranked actually above this range for me. But for some reason, he's ranked really low on the board here.
Yeah, I'm into taking him. I mean, he's going to be one of those players that people are going to see start moving up in boards because he's getting pump take love.
I think in real life he will go around this range, so I would be fine with taking him.
I'm all into taking Tay Gowan out of UCF. I think this is the second video we've drafted him in, but he's just so awesome. Go check his tape. He looks awesome.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you'll have to watch 2019 tape, of course, because he did not play. Yeah. He opted out in 2020. But yeah, he is a great player, and I think he will go around this.
Builds a good little position, and we pick again right in round 4 here, not too far off of what we had just seen. So I just want to look at the board generally overall and just see what we got going on here. Marvin Wilson, interior defensive line. We don't really need any more on the interior defensive line, so that wouldn't probably be ideal. Patrick Jones is here. David Moore.
I mean, yeah, they have I don't know why OT is such a big need for them because they have both of their OTs. Wide receiver would be something to look at here.
Yeah, let's look at the weapons available. We've got Seth Williams out of Auburn, Des Fitzpatrick, Anthony Schwartz. This is the burner guy that we always talk about. Marlon Williams.
I mean, I like him, but he's pretty much just, as everybody says, he's more of like a track star than he is a great receiver prospect right now. Not much of a football player. Seth Williams is interesting. He's kind of like, I don't know, he does not fit the 49ers mold for what they would want in a receiver. But who really knows? Because I mean, Debo and Brandon Ayuk are basically the same player.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Maybe they would want to diversify. Maybe they wouldn't. Who knows? So it's kind of tough there. We could double up at interior O-line. That would not be like they need more than one position there.
Yeah, you're right. They do.
So depending on who's here.
We've got Notre Dame, Aaron Banks here.
Yeah, I don't know.
5'3", 338. Wow.
Who else do they have? Because they sometimes have guys like ranked really low. I think Aaron Banks is a little bit early for him. Scroll up a little bit. I missed. No. Aaron Banks would probably be the best player available here. Unless check OT and see if they have a guard listed in OT or a guy would want to move
Walker
to guard.
Little's there.
Yeah, he's just ranked way too low. Yeah, nobody that blows my hair back here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take Aaron Banks then out of Notre Dame. We haven't picked.
Yeah, you want to wait? Hold on. Do you want to look at edge first?
Yeah, that is a need. Cam Sample is there.
Yeah, he's interesting. I would have him definitely ranked higher on my board than Aaron Banks for sure.
Rashad Weaver,
because they obviously have Nick Bosa, but he's coming back from injury, tore his ACL, so that's something to consider. And then the other thing is that D Ford has not really lived up to his contract. Obviously, you still have Eric Armstead, who plays he's like an edge interior defensive line hybrid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of like Cam Sample. Like I like Rashad Weaver too. He's actually I actually do like Rashad Weaver because he is a really good scheme fit here. He kind of fits he could he could come in and immediately play the Solomon Thomas role that they're going to be losing. I can't remember where he signed, but he did not re-sign with San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I think he would be immediately better than Solomon Thomas because Solomon Thomas was not very good in the NFL.
Yeah.
Rashad Weaver is really NFL ready. So
yeah, and he is exciting tape back. I think it was 2018. Yeah, 2018 season, 47 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, and 6.5 sacks. I've seen tape on Rashad Weaver from his old days at Pittsburgh. Crazy
Mhm.
good.
Yeah,
So
he's really good. He's not like the best athlete in the world, but um, like I said, he's ready to step in and contribute to the rotation. So I think that's actually a pretty good pick
absolutely.
there.
Let's take Rashad Weaver out of Pittsburgh then. Um, here at 117. Quickly, let's just look over what we've got here. So we've got Justin Fields, Creed Humphrey, Tay Gowan, and Rashad Weaver. Great walkaway so far, just out of the top 100 picks for the 49ers, especially moving up to number 3. They didn't really give too much to get there, I think. I think it was mutually beneficial for not only I love what the Dolphins were doing, by the way. I
Yeah,
absolutely love what they're doing.
I definitely like the first move that the Dolphins made. We probably should talk about the trades a little bit. Um, I definitely like the first move that the Dolphins made. I wasn't too crazy about the second one. Obviously, they were kind of, you can kind of read between the lines and assume they were contingent on each other. Like,
Yeah.
my guess is what happened was the Dolphins wanted to trade back to 6, but the Eagles didn't want to move up. And so what they did is they traded back behind the Eagles and then said, okay, we want 6 now. You can trade back instead of trading up. But at the same time, I mean, the 49ers, first of all, their aspect of it, I mean, on paper, they got fleeced by the Dolphins, but I never really like thinking about it, like who won the trade type of thing, because they obviously have different objectives.
Yeah.
And the 49ers have made it, I mean, it's obvious they're coming up for a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of throws the whole value thing out the window if you're getting the future of your franchise.
Exactly.
You can't really you can spare no expense there.
Yeah, I heard a thing on the Pat Mayo Experience, which is a great football show. People should check it out. And a guy named Jeff Feinberg was talking about what he also loves what the Dolphins were doing, he loved the Niners moving up as well as what the Dolphins were doing, and he was saying that just the close relationship between the 49ers and the Jets, just through history, and I guess there's some sort of brass connection there that they have, that he thinks that the Jets might have tipped their hat a little bit to the 49ers to say, we're not taking blank, but we're really thinking about taking blank. And probably being Zach Wilson at number 2. And that is all the Niners needed to know that they wanted to move up 100%, knowing they were going to get their guy, or at least one of their 2 guys that they might evaluate as kind of similar and both kind of franchise changers. So just an interesting little behind the scenes thing to note. That's not confirmed or anything like that. That was just a fun conversation point, just based on like relationships within the brass of both teams.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it does appear to make a lot of sense as well. So
yeah, let's look at the top. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's an interesting one. I see Chuba Howard there. Chuba Howard, sorry, there.
Yep, Canadian guy.
Yeah, he would be interesting because, first of all, what's the deal? I got to check something. I don't know for sure. So Tevin Coleman's gone. He's on the Jets now.
Yeah.
Is Jerick McKinnon still?
I believe so.
No, he's a free agent.
Okay.
So
what about their boy Mostert?
Raheem. Yes.
Yeah. Raheem,
so, but the thing is
still there.
What we know about the 49ers is they're not going to use, I mean, first of all, Raheem is not every down workload.
No, he's not that good at all, to be honest.
So, and not only that, he's been injured a lot. Obviously, he's not built to carry like
he had one incredible
Derrick Henry workload.
Green Bay that broke my heart, and since then he's done nothing.
Yes, that's true also. So the thing about that is they will always want to have other running backs in the rotation, right? Regardless of whether if Raheem Mostert was even Derrick Henry, they probably still would not be using him in an every down role. They would have a third down back to take the load off of Henry and just kind of bring some more dynamism to the running back room. So, and Chuba Howard kind of like, I like Chuba Howard a lot, but he kind of fits that mold too. He's not like, he's a good running back, but he's not, he's a little bit smaller. He's probably not going to be an every down running back. He had some injuries in his career.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of like him to kind of step into this rotation here and be, it's something the 49ers do need. Like eventually they're going to need, they're going to need to add somehow another running back to this rotation. Maybe they could get one of the guys who are still out there in free agency, like James Conner, or who else is out there? I can't even think off the top of my head. Like there's some really good running backs left.
There is. I mean, they could bring a guy in, but they could also just draft a guy here at 155, knowing they've already made a lot of picks just for need. They could take a fun toy out of Oklahoma State in Chuba Hubbard. And He was kind of a track star as well. Not that really matters too much, but he's an incredibly fast guy. And so he personally, for me, pops off the board more than any of these other running backs do.
Well, you know what? The 49ers also do have Jeff Wilson, he's honestly very similar to Raheem Mostert. Mm-hmm. So, adding Chuba Howard makes a lot of sense. I mean, Le'Veon Bell is still available. Boston Scott, Duke Johnson, James Conner.
Really have left in the tank, though.
Yeah, like I think the 49ers, this is the kind of thing they did with some of their other players, like just taking later round shots on them. So this makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I'm super into taking Chuba Hubbard. He's great for Canadian football players everywhere to go in the 5th round. There's not too many of them in the league, so let's take him here at 155. There goes Anthony Schwartz, the burner. That kind of would have been an interesting pick this late, but we've already dabbled in offense here. So let's see if any big names jump off the board as we move into the 6th round here. It's flying by. I guess we have another 5th here, actually. So we look at safety, you think, just to see what we've got here. So Divine Diablo, DeMar Hamlin, Reed Blankenship.
Yeah. While you do that, I just kind of want to look and see. I have not been keeping up really close with the 49ers and who they've re-signed and who they haven't. I just want to look at their
go ahead.
They could use some linebacker depth for sure. They could use some. Who do they have on? Like they have a lot of. Obviously, they have their 1st round pick from last year, Javon Kinlaw at interior defensive line, and then they have a lot of like flyer guys like DJ Jones, Zach Kerr, that kind of player. And obviously, like I said, Arik Armstead is going to be getting involved in that situation as well. So some interior defensive line depth would be pretty good. They need a number 2 tight end behind George Kittle. Another wide receiver would be nice. Some more help in the second. Have a lot of needs in terms of around the place. So I'm good at.
What are your thoughts? I kind of lost you there just for a second due to lag, but I assume you were saying that they could also take a guy in the secondary. What do you think about LeBron Ray at Alabama? He's the top guy here on IDL, sorry.
Yeah, he wouldn't personally. He would not be my top ranked guy here. Sorry, you just switched to.
No, it's all good. There. These are the edge guys, interior defensive line guys left.
Yeah, no, he would not be. He would not be my top guy. There's a few guys I see there that I like more than him, but none of them are I would like in this range. Like this is too early for.
So should we look at corner then? I mean, there's not so many great names here.
Yeah. I mean, I like Thomas Graham. He does not fit the scheme. Marco Wilson, he kind of does fit the scheme a little bit, but he was not good. He was not great at Florida. I just like him a lot because of his athleticism is really good. So he could be an interesting developmental player for the 49ers. Richard Wildgoose, I like as well. Great draft name as
great
well.
Great draft name. The Wildgoose. Love it.
Again, he's not a great scheme fit. He's more of a man cover guy. He played a lot of zone
he's pretty
Wisconsin.
Small.
Yeah, he's small. So he fits more of a man coverage scheme, which the 49ers, I mean, I guess they will be changing their defense because a little bit because Sala isn't there anymore, but still, I presume they're going to want to keep a lot of the same principles and contact.
It says here on Marco Wilson's update thing on the Draft Network is that he predominantly plays off-man coverage, so that wouldn't be
like I said, not really a scheme fit, and not really honestly the kind of like I like him. He's a good project, but I feel like the 49ers have a need for depth in a lot of other places. We don't need to force it on corner here. We could look at safety. We could look at IDL. We could look at, again, interior.
So here's safety. Here's what we're looking at. Reed Blankenship, Devon Diablo, Jacoby Stevens.
There are some guys I like here still. I love Divine Diablo, probably a little more than I should. But yeah, he's one of my draft crushes. I would say, just because I think he's a huge value here. I think we've taken him in some other spots though. I don't know. I don't want to rely on it too much. But I do like him a lot. I don't know what their safety. He would probably be a backup safety because I know that they re-signed Jaquaski Tart They obviously still have Jimmy Ward there to play their free safety role. So we don't necessarily need to do that either. But let's look at how about tight end, wide receiver, or interior defensive line?
Okay, well, here's what we're looking at: tight end. Personally, none of these things are cranking my gear.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't expecting to be blown away here, but
we're not going to take a guy here in the 5th round like that. No. Here's what we're looking at with receiver. I mean, there are some guys that I don't hate here, but I mean, once again, nothing pops right off the board to me.
Yeah, I mean, actually, one does. Cade Johnson out of South Dakota State. I like him a lot here. Again, it's tough to see what the 49ers would want to do with their receivers because they have these two guys who are like these really unique players, these kind of, crossing route, run after catch, kind of like running backs playing wide receiver type guys, really great athletes with Deebo Samuel and Ayuk. And I like Cade Johnson a lot. He was really good at the Senior Bowl, obviously coming out of a small school from South Dakota State, but he kind of proved that he has what it takes to play in the NFL. So I do like him. Again, it would just be, we could really take any receiver here and we'd just be guessing with what the 49ers are trying to do. So I think he would be my top pick out of all these guys that I've seen so far.
Let's look at interior defensive line just before we.
And then we have not looked there yet.
We looked there a little bit, and there wasn't too much.
Well, yeah, I do like Tonga there. I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard his name pronounced.
Yeah.
So I don't know what his first name
here. Chris Cryas.
Kairis. I'm gonna stop. K Tonga. I'm gonna call him.
Yeah.
Out of BYU. Level of competition, obviously a concern, but I do like him. He would probably be my.
Would he be your pick here over the receiver?
Well, where is he? Where is Cade Johnson
lower
ranked?
So we could probably come back and get Cade Johnson.
Well, he's ranked higher on the overall board though, so I think I would rather.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was just looking at it like this. Okay, let's take Cade Johnson then.
Yeah.
Out of South Dakota State. Hopefully we can come back around.
I think that's a good pick there.
Oh, Javon Diablo would have been a nice pick too. But one, like we said, we've already picked him before in other drafts because he's kind of a – whoa, we picked like 3 picks after. We have so many 5th-round picks here. Well, let's take them.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we got both our guys there. Damn, that's great.
Yep.
So now we move into the 6th round. Whoa, we have another one right here. Holy cow, we're getting picks all over the place.
Yeah, they're stacked up at these late rounders.
All right, so now I think let me just review the all category here just to see what we got. If anyone's popping off the board here, Patrick Johnson, the edge, Jonathan Cooper, the edge, Shaka Toney, the edge, lots of edge apparently left, talented edge, tons of receivers. But we were just looking at receiver, and nothing other than Cade Johnson was really popping off the board. We could look at linebacker.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's look at linebacker here. I do like KJ Britt out of Auburn. He doesn't blow you away, but he's a decent value here. He's definitely not a reach or anything. He was not great in 2020, but he didn't play much. I can't remember if he was injured or not, or if he was just pushed down the depth chart, but he was pretty good in 2019. So I'm okay with taking a shot on him.
Yeah, let's take a shot on him here. We're in the 6th round, right? No one here is going to be perfect, but they're all kind of decent picks based on needs. This is the great thing about the Niners mock drafting for them is they already have a pretty good team set up there already. So we're not like in our other videos for the Jets and Jaguars, we're rebuilding pretty much the entire high value positions. But here we don't really have to do that. We can take more developmental guys. Jamar Jefferson, a running back. Why would the Packers love running backs? And a tight end. Great. We really needed that.
You need him. You need a third backup behind Josiah Deguara.
Yeah, exactly. Silly. All right, our 7th round pick. So let's take the QB of the future here. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that, obviously. Perhaps we look at safety.
Yes, safety. I mean,
developmental guys.
We're at the point of the draft where there's nobody we're in the 7th round here. We're taking some shots here on some upside if we can. So I'm fine with going best player available at any position. We have not addressed safety yet. It would be nice if we could come away. We could come away with somebody, but let's see who's here.
Here's who's here for safety.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be blown away. Crosswell is probably, he's at the top of the board there. He's probably the best guy that I see, at least on the screen right now.
Yeah.
But again, like,
apparently he's got some stiff hips, according to his con. Stiff hips, Crosswell, but he wouldn't be a bad.
But yeah, he barely played in 2020. Again, I don't know. I don't know enough about his position on the Sun Devils to know why that is. But he played a lot in 2018 and 2019. So maybe he got hurt, or maybe he was one of those guys that opted out after the season started. It's obviously not a good sign that he would still be here. Or that, sorry, not that he would still be here, that he didn't play much.
Ooh. Our developmental.
Yeah, there's something
still sitting here.
Yeah. Honestly, I might be the only person who likes Marco Wilson. I honestly thought he was a lot more liked in the draft community because he does have really good athleticism. But he was not, he was inconsistent, let's say, at Florida.
All right, well, let's just wrap it up. We'll take I'm going to make an executive call. We're taking Marco Wilson as our 7th round pick, a developmental corner. If he doesn't work out for corner, we'll move him to safety. So there you go. We addressed 2 positions in one. So I don't know if we have another pick here at the end.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. But we had a ton of mid-round picks. We'll do a little just quick review here of everything we walked away with before we wrap this up. A huge haul of players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for us. So we'll quickly just go through it. Justin Fields, the quarterback out of Ohio State, goes 3rd overall. Creed Humphrey. Oh, hold on. They'll present it to me in a nice fancy graphic here. Justin Fields, the QB, goes Creed Humphrey, Tay Gowan, Rashad Weaver, the edge out of Pittsburgh. I'm really excited about that pick. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard, the running back out of Oklahoma State. Cade Johnson, great receiver, kind of late and middle rounds here. K Tonga, interior defensive line out of BYU. KJ Britt out of Auburn. And then we wrap it up with our developmental corner of the day, Marco Wilson, for his athletic gifts that we might just move to safety if he doesn't work out at corner. But this is what the Niners did in our mock. Niners fans, please don't dislike the video like the one Jets fan did, but like the video and let us know what you would change about it. And then we can probably, do more with other teams as well if you have any suggestions. But I'm happy with how this turned out, personally.
Yeah, no, me as well. I think there were a couple, like the draft didn't necessarily roll our way. I think we felt a little locked into the interior O-line because of the good players that were available. And then the draft didn't really roll our way for corner and a lot of the other needs, because the 49ers, I think they do need a safety behind their 2 starters who are getting up there in age. They obviously do need an edge, which we got. I think we got a good one for them in Rashad Weaver. But there's some things I would have liked to have done. But sometimes the draft falls that way, and I think we made the most of the way that the draft fell to us in an unfavorable way, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Thank you for watching, everyone. This was a lot of fun to do, and we will see you soon with probably a full mock, probably maybe 2 round if we really want to make it like a 2.5 hour video mock of every single team. Check out our first mock. That one did pretty well. People seem to like that one a lot. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Enjoy your weekend. See ya.